Jesus is a friend of mine.
Jesus is my friend.
Jesus is a friend of mine.
I have a friend in Jesus.
Do you want to die, Sydney? Your mother sure didn't.
Fuck you, you creep. Please don't.
Jesus wept.
Tell the sheriff I shot him.
I got plans for you. I'm gonna slit your eyelids in half so you don't blink when I stab you in the face.
You don't know what death is.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Hey, this is Trevor with Blood, Guts, and B-Movie Trash Talk. We watch and review movies that you don't have time for, and as always, I have my lovely host here, Steve Normand.
Hi.
How's it going, Steve?
Pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good, pretty good. And we also have a lovely guest on the show.
He's a big fan of Foxy Shazam. He's got a cool backwards jazz hat. He's got lots of sweet dinosaur tattoos and some Alex Gray stuff. Definitely one of the more handsome Johnsons I know of. I dare say one of the most handsome Johnsons I know of. Chris Johnson.
Well, thank you, Steve. Nice to be here, and thanks, Trevor. Happy to be a part of your podcast, and looking forward to it.
Yeah. Happy to have you.
Yeah, happy to have you. I'm glad you sat through this movie with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But hopefully you had the opportunity, or I don't know if you could say the opportunity, but hopefully you listened to the last podcast. We reviewed that heap of shit called Night of the Demons.
Good old-fashioned hoedown.
And I have to say, it wasn't the most pleasant time spent watching that movie, Steve.
I fucking hated it.
Have you seen Night of the Demons?
I have not.
Well, we reviewed it, so you don't have to.
Yeah, and I definitely take our advice on that, because you will lose 2 hours of your life you will never get back.
But on the docket for today, we got My Bloody Valentine from 1981.
Yeah, paying our respects to the good old holiday that Valentine's is. But 1981, who's the director, Steve?
We got George Mahawaka.
Mahaka.
I'm not sure how to say it.
Foreign. I think he's German. I could be wrong.
I imagine he was from Pakistan.
Could be. Maybe.
He's probably pretty brown, I would guess, with that last name. I don't know, but
yeah. He's done a few other films. He's primarily a TV director, producer. He does like a lot of TV shows, especially nowadays. But he did two noticeable films: The Blue Man, which looks really, really interesting.
Good group.
And he also did Bullet.
Vegas show.
Yeah.
Bullet?
You just find out it's fucking Blue Man's group.
Put together the Blue Man group. Did you say Bullet?
No, he also did Bullet to Beijing.
Oh, I thought you meant Bullet, like that fucking Steve McQueen movie that was so badass.
Who plays in the new Batmans, Christopher Nolan's Batmans? Who plays the butler? I always forget.
I don't know that British name.
Yeah,
it's that. I know.
It's one of those names that you always think of randomly while you're doing stuff, and then you can't remember it when you're trying to like say his name.
But he's in it, and I do apologize that we are lacking in some actor knowledge.
He's in that movie.
He's in Bullet to Beijing, so it's a pretty big.
My Bloody Valentine. I was like, oh my.
No, but I would say that good old George here is known for My Bloody Valentine and then Bullet to Beijing. So I think what I'm basically saying is that's probably the only other film you want to watch from him, because from what it sounds like, he really didn't. He really wasn't successful.
Story, bro.
But anyways, yeah, exactly. Let's get down to the review here. I noticed, Steve, that this film jumps right to the fucking nitty gritty.
There's no fucking around with MBV. 1981.
Yeah, they don't waste their time on credits, things like that, right?
Well,
at the beginning.
I mean, there's a little bit of mask fondling that goes on as the credits roll. You don't notice because it's the most sexy you've ever seen a mask fondled.
Oh, it was nice. And how does he repay her, Steve?
He repays her by putting her back through a pickaxe that protrudes through her breast through a heart tattoo. Before we get into anything, though, I think it will be easiest if we refer to any character that's dressed up as this axe-wielding
maniac,
axe-wielding
minor
fiend as Harry Warden. Because they think it's Harry Warden, so it should be best if we refer to him as Harry Warden, I think.
Sure, and I
agree.
You don't get all the names to the characters right off the bat in this, so I'm going to go off my notes and give the names of those characters that I made up and then transition to their actual names once we actually...
You could say with the Oak, I kind of know a few of their names.
Yeah, a lot of their names are based off what they look like, so we'll definitely... You can correct me once we get there. But it's... Yeah, go for it.
I want to just bring up Valentine Bluffs. This is filmed in Nova Scotia.
Mm-hmm. Where it should be deathly cold.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a properly titled town.
That's right, Valentine Bluffs. And did you get the budget, Trevor?
I did not actually get the budget.
It's $2,300,000 Canadian dollars, so whatever that was for American dollars.
So not real American money quite.
Monopoly money, basically.
Yeah, that's all we care.
The box office, it made $5,672,000. I can't help but think that if they would have watched the version we did, which, by the way, we watched the 99-minute uncut one that has re-added kill scenes, I think that if that would have been put out, it would have been a lot more popular, but instead they fucking diced this thing up.
Sure, and I don't understand that because there are a lot of films prior to this that came out that were just as bad. And I think they were just trying to get a huge Hollywood release on this and to get it in as many theaters as they possibly could. Because that would be the only reason why they would cut those out.
I think that the, what's it called,
because
the MPAA or something?
Yeah,
is that
for the rating.
Because made them dice this thing up.
Definitely, and it wasn't because of the time. The movie with...
Because a bunch of fucking Reagan assholes and people with their kids.
Forcing their way into our movies.
Yeah. Fucking their way
Those
into
extra 9 minutes were the best part of that movie. So.
Definitely. And you can tell that they're added the color correction and the decaying of the film.
Gets a little grainy.
Gets grainy.
It's nice. I love knowing that those were the ones that were cut, because every time I watch
it adds...
It makes it feel cool.
It's warmer, it's artistic,
yeah,
it is cool.
Yeah, it definitely adds to the film. But the way it starts out, there's two miners walking through an underground tunnel, both breathing like Darth Vader from Star Wars.
Miners is in the people who get minerals from under the earth, not people under age of 18.
Yeah, not a bunch of little children.
Let's make sure people understand that these aren't miners like little kids running around.
They would be towing the line.
But they find a rest area, and here's where we find out that one of them is actually a woman, and the other is a man.
Maybe not.
True. That's true. I guess you don't really find out.
They're dressed in Harry Warden ensemble. It may even be Harry Warden.
True.
Quite possibly.
True. And as the woman strips, she then jerks off the air supply tube to the mask of the other person.
Very sensual.
Fondles it, and she tries to take off the mask, and the individual under the mask says, "No, don't touch it. Don't take it off."
And instead of doing that, he says that with his actions.
He does. Now, before all this happens, he slams his pickaxe into the wall so he can start fondling this fine lady's breasts. And he's fondling her left breast, which we see a shitty tattoo of a heart.
And it's only when he sees the heart that he actually gets set off, because before he's kind of sensual. He sees the heart and then he commits the murder.
Yeah.
Before we get into any more of it, though, why don't you sum all this up with what they may have put on the back of a box if they had done such a thing?
Well, Steve, I just love doing this. Now, 20 years ago, a tragic accident in a mine took the lives of 5 miners while the supervisors attended the annual Valentine's Day dance. The only survivor, Harry Warden, was confined to a mental institution and, on the disaster's first anniversary, returned to the town for bloody revenge. 19 years later, the memories have dimmed. Young lovers TJ and Sarah and friend Axel are attending another Valentine's Day party. Then, a box of Valentine candy arrives containing an ominous message and a blood-soaked heart.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. Before the night is over, terror will strike again and again and again and again and again.
You just wheel back down the hall.
Yeah.
It did happen frequently.
Definitely.
Well, that gives away quite a bit.
It does, but that's what we do. We spoil these things.
No, I mean, the back of the box gives away a lot.
Yeah, you wouldn't even want to watch it.
You're just like, oh, now I know everything.
Fuck, thanks. Yeah. But right as he's fondling her breast, Steve, he sees that heart on her chest, and he starts shaking. And he pushes her back into the pickaxe.
Expert aim, too.
Boom. Right through the heart.
Yeah, precise.
The heart actually, actually, it didn't puncture her heart because we find out later in the form of a candy box that her heart was in one of the first boxes. So it wasn't punctured, but...
Yeah. But then cuts to the men leaving the mine and heading to the shower.
Hey, Chris, why don't you tell us about this scene?
Yes.
Well, it was kind of homoerotic, but
Boom.
necessary nonetheless, where you show the camaraderie of the miners, talking sexy about ladies, planning their Valentines, not to know what's going to happen, but basically just men talking in the shower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of penis, butt, and ass play going on there.
Yeah.
It's funny, they all talk about Valentine's Day and what they're going to do.
Gotta go to the big dance.
But they're all really... Are they all really heterosexual? I feel like they're just like trying to be men down there, but they really like to touch each other's
There's
penises.
a lot of dude sweat that goes down in a mine, dude. Like, I think it's physically not possible to be gay and work in a mine.
And be a miner.
Because it, like, something about the chemicals and the air and the coldness, like, it just makes you a man.
Miners are men.
Uh-huh. They drink frost brewed Coors Light.
Meat steaks. And mashed potatoes.
So what's for dinner?
This is where Welcome to Valentine Bluff comes in play. This is where you see the town sign, and where we're at. Now, all those fine gentlemen leave work like crazed animals, just fucking screeching around corners in their cars. And they're heading to town, meeting up with their homosexual cover-up women. I'm just kidding. No, but
beards.
Yeah, all meeting up with their women there at the, what is this? The like town hall?
It's the town hall. They're decorating it for the big dance.
The Valentine's dance. First in 19 years.
Quite some time.
Long time.
Almost 20.
Almost 20.
Mm-hmm.
Another fun fact about this movie is this year, as it does probably every 7 or so, this movie lines up with what this Valentine's is going to be. For instance, Valentine's on this movie is a Saturday, Friday the 13th is a Friday, obviously, and this year it's the same thing. So our Valentine's Day is even a Saturday, so if there's a time to watch it, it's definitely this year.
Yeah, I'd recommend that, yeah.
Whether you have a Valentine or not, it doesn't really matter because this movie's badass, and that's all you need.
That's right. I like to watch it every year.
Yeah, and if you do watch it, buy the extended version. Trust us. We're not pulling your chain here.
The 99-minute one, because otherwise I've never seen the cut one, but it doesn't seem like it'd be worth your while because they cut out the good stuff.
Yeah,
it's 10% more, but 100% better because of it.
Look at you.
Oh, that's classy. Boom.
Clever.
I add some statistics to this.
I like that. I was always thinking we needed a guy to crunch numbers on this.
You got Alex too. He's
It was Alex, but then he died tragically.
Oh man, terrible.
No, he's still alive. He lives next door to Steve,
and he'll be on a future installment.
Oh, definitely. Can we get him just obliterated and trashed before he's on, just so it'd be funny?
We should.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Now, Mabel. This is where we're introduced into the old town. Like, I don't know. She could have been a Flues back in the day, but she's nice and.
She seems more like a librarian type.
But she works at a laundromat, did she not?
Well, she went down to the laundromat to clean those clothes that dick had scared out of her hands.
Yeah.
And blood all over him.
Yeah.
I see.
But we'll touch base on that. But this is where Mabel comes and is introduced. Now, Mabel plans the first Valentine's Day dance in 20 years. And TJ also comes into this scene here and discusses how he doesn't like being back in the mine. But his dad, the mayor...
owns the mine, baby.
Owns the mine and says that this is how it's going to be, little TJ.
What daddy wants, daddy gets.
That's right.
The mayor also gets a gift, and he decides to leave with the chief, which I just call him Chief, whatever your name is, because I don't even know his fucking name.
That guy was a fucking badass, though.
Chief
he was one of the classy...
Bluffs.
Yeah. He was one of the classy characters.
Yeah. But, they decide to... leave after this scene and open the nice gift that the mayor had received. Right, Steve?
That's correct.
Now, this is a funny scene. Because as they're driving, good old mayor says, if there's one thing I like more than Christmas candy, it's Valentine's Day candy. And the chief and the mayor are driving. And as they are driving, he decides to open up his secret admirer's gift. Now, from the heart comes a warning filled with bloody good cheer. Remember what happens as the 14th draws near, is the note that he sees with the candy.
Cryptic.
Cryptic Valentine. Yeah. Poetic, though.
Yeah. Robert Frost there.
I think it's James Joyce.
Now, he opens it up to find a lovely heart pulled out of somebody's chest.
We later find out at the old fucking lab that it is a 30-year-old woman's heart, which makes me think it's the girl that gets killed at the beginning.
Probably.
But she didn't look 30. And maybe it was because...
She looked pretty 30 to me.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
It was dark in the mine.
Did we...
You know?
Yeah. Low, dim lighting can definitely help with age. Yes.
Question, did we get into the Harry Warden cutscenes? Did that already happen in the movie? Where it shows him, like, the legend of Harry Warden, like...
Oh, we're getting there.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
We're getting there.
I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah, that's a good...
Stay tuned for that.
Now, the mayor just loses it and says that it can't be happening again, says the mayor. They turn the truck around as fast as they possibly can and head back to town. Now we jump to the bar scene at the Cage. Classy joint.
It was classy.
A fancy barkeep.
Definitely. Now, Fat Ass.
His name is Hollis.
Hollis. I'm glad you know who I'm talking about.
He's got a great fucking mustache, good chops, good hat, nice glasses.
You call him fat ass when he had that mustache?
Yeah. Oh, you gotta call him... Yeah, you could have called him fucking a plethora of things, but fat ass should have been 5th on the list.
Well, that's the first thing that popped in my mind.
Guy that is overachieving. He's got a better looking girlfriend than probably any of the rest of them.
Yeah.
He's got a great mustache. He's a hard worker.
He's got a great personality, so he does have a hot lady.
Wears skin-tight jeans.
He also...
Which is necessary.
Yes. I'm a big fan of the skin-tight jeans.
He also looks like that old dude that does the diabetes commercials.
It does.
Just
fast forward 20 years.
Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? Probably not. No. But I do it anyway because it's sterile and I like the taste.
I let your first one slip because I heard it too.
You see, here for the listeners here, anytime the N-word comes out, and Steve, if I say the N-word, just are you going to play that again?
Of course I will. Every time.
Okay.
That's why it must be referred to as the N-word. The former N-word, which was a racial slur, is no longer to be used. And the current N-word is the one that Chris just said.
Yes. So
which will warrant Rip Torn from Dodgeball.
Yeah. So don't say the N-word because that will be played over and over again, and it's funny. But can lose
take up 15 to 20 seconds of your time.
Yeah. But back to the bar scene. Now, Fat Ass and Hollis and Bad Boy, which is Axel.
He's the blonde.
Yeah, they're playing knife games,
smoking cigarettes, even
ass grabbing,
women it up.
So how can we question their heterosexuality when they're doing such manly things in the bar? You know?
I never even thought anything of them. I just thought they were nothing but straight.
Stabbing knives into the table
there's anything
between
wrong
their fingers.
With anything otherwise.
Stabbing knives in their hand, like playing the knife game as they're
not looking.
As their wives are sitting or their girls are sitting in their laps, like it's about as manly as
trying to psych each other out. Like
these guys are making James Bond with his deck of cards look like a big old pussy.
But as they're playing knives games, the town nut begins to tell the story about the cursed town.
He's also the barkeep.
Definitely. He reminds me of somebody that... Oh, he reminds me of the dude in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. I can't remember that guy's name either.
The grandpa?
The grandpa dude. the nutty dude that always makes the
chili. Makes award-winning chili.
Cannibalistic chili, and he wins every time. But it all started 20 years ago at the dance at the Union Hall. Now, the town nut tells that the miners failed to check the methane levels below and blew the tunnel. Now, one man survived and was definitely a cannibal.
Harry Warden.
Mm-hmm. And this cannibal went insane. Now, he killed the supervisors that night.
He ate a bunch of people.
Yeah, he ate a bunch of people before he got out of there. But
that's how he survived.
He then left or got out of the insane asylum or wherever he was. He killed the supervisors that thought the party was more important.
Instead of bleeding those fucking lines.
Exactly.
Should have done their job, man.
And from then on, he claims that he will come back every time there's a dance on February 14th to fuck shit up.
You gotta give it to the man. He's got principles.
He does. and he tells a mean story.
Yeah. It also becomes known that in the shower,
Sitting back here.
that TJ's old girlfriend is now dating Axel, and this is an important key because it builds a bunch of tension between the two.
It does, and I was just going to mention that. Now, TJ dated the same girl, Bad Boy or Axel. We can call him Axel. And Axel's now dating him. I guess TJ walked out a little while ago, left, had to sort.
He just left her fair and square.
He left everybody, and nobody knew where he went.
Yeah.
So let's just... where do you think he went? Like, he went to California. I know he went to California.
Well,
But he makes all these mistakes. What mistakes?
He just went to grow up, live a little.
Well, he went to go test his sexuality. When Culture Club's out and all that fun stuff. You got to get a taste of the scene before
That is a good question. I can't imagine where he went.
It's just, I made a lot of mistakes and I had to come back. So, elaborate. What happened?
Maybe he learned what fashion was, because he definitely dresses...
Yeah.
If I had to venture,
like a cute little sailor.
I like the way he dresses, first of all. And second, if I had to venture to guess, based on own personal experience, I would say he moved to Michigan. And then he ran out of money, because that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't get into any trouble. I didn't do anything bad. I moved to Michigan, ran out of money, moved home. Maybe he did that.
Maybe he did.
Sounds like it.
Did he watch any Pacers game, or not Pacers, but Pistons games, and decided to come back?
And that's when they had AI on their team too.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. But anyways, TJ dating the same girl as Axel here. It's going to build that tension.
There's a big dick contest.
And you'll notice here in this scene, this is I think
Big dick contest.
I think this is the first scene where you see that TJ's very annoyed, knowing the fact that his girl's dating somebody else, and she notices that he's keeping his distance, and she walks over to him at the jukebox and reminds him he no longer gets to smash that piece of ass on the reg.
Speaking of smash that piece of ass, can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Yep.
You know that game he's playing where he's like sliding those things along the... What is that game and how do you play it?
I don't know what it's called.
I always see it and I don't want to play it because I don't look like an asshole at a bar.
You basically... I know that you're supposed to get those points and the other stones can knock yours off.
It's like...
Is it like curling?
It's just like curling. Yeah. It's fun,
Okay.
dude. They have one at the Republican.
They have one at Lucky 13.
Oh, let's go play that.
It's fun.
All right, podcast is over. We're gonna play. All right, but he no longer gets to smash this piece of ace.
Ace, dude.
Now back to the coroner's office. The chief and the mayor discuss the human heart the mayor found in the heart-shaped box. They find out that it was from a young woman that Steve had mentioned earlier, approximately 30 years of age, which is questionable.
Yep.
I'll agree with you there.
Suck it in and zip it up.
Yeah. They confirm that the killer was locked up in Eastwood 20 years ago. So Harry's been locked up, so they're trying to put together a little idea as to who's causing the mischief here. Now, the coroner says it looks like Harry Warden is back in town. It then jumps to a scene with the Darth Vader breathing in the dark, which is Harry Warden, possibly, Steve?
We'll go with HW.
Good old HW. But the creep killer's stalking Mabel through the window at the town laundromat. The killer walks in and places a heart-shaped box on the table as Mabel walks back into another room. Now, Mabel comes back out to see that there's a little heart-shaped box for her, and she's very excited to see who the individual giving this gift is. Now, she picks up the little nice note attached to it and reads it, and it reads as this.
That's a good one.
This is a pretty good one. Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, and so are you.
Yeah.
That will show you, Mabel,
Yes.
you bitch.
Think about
You
that.
fucking liver-spotted 70-year-old fucking...
No one cared when Mabel died 'cause she was old. And it's not...
Damn it, that's what old people do.
They die.
Sorry, Mabel.
But the killer stabs Mabel in the face with the pickaxe. And then it moves to the next scene.
And when she fell down, I thought she might have died from a broken hip.
Yeah.
Instead, she takes the pickaxe.
She breaks her hip and immediately dies from it.
And he's like, no, god damn it.
It's more honorable to take a pickaxe.
Yeah.
She's already in the, rigor mortis, shit your pants stage when
Yeah, I
he's
was just
stabbing her in the
gonna say,
face.
It's more honorable to die from a pickaxe to the face than just shitting yourself in your hospital bed as you die.
Oh, shit. Well, then it jumps back to fat ass class clown. Who would you name class clown, Steve? This is Howard.
Oh, D-bag.
Yeah.
You're talking about Howard.
Yes, Howard and some other dude are penis butting around cooking their meals on the engine of one of the cars in this fucking, I don't know what it is, a junkyard or something?
Car junkyard. Car,
It's something.
place to go.
I don't know why they're hanging out at the car junkyard, but
Because they're men.
Because they're men.
just before we jump
Nothing
into there,
screams testosterone like cars.
Yes.
And tons of squished cars.
Why not just hang out in them?
I wanted to quickly jump through a couple things. Before the old lady dies, the reason she goes down to the laundromat is because she gets scared by... What's his name? What's that?
Howard.
Howard, because he's got blood all over him and he scares them. And the adults take this seriously because of the tragedies they've seen. But these kids, they're barely old enough to even, they don't know about this stuff.
They're naive.
That's why she went down to the place.
Yeah.
May or may not be a useless detail. But the old men don't appreciate all the grab ass and the kids are doing. They're supposed to set up.
They don't like it.
But yeah, they go back. They're cooking food on the car engine. And I appreciate that Hollis mentions, this ain't no microwave. This is 1981. I didn't know they had microwaves at the time.
I thought they did. I think I have one from the 80s. I don't know.
It showed how well-to-do he was. He could afford a microwave,
Oh, yeah.
so...
Yeah.
Well,
Miners got paid well.
How well to do he knew of someone, because they were cooking like eggs on an engine.
yeah. That doesn't spit class.
Yeah, and
I kind of want to try
engines,
that.
engines operated around, what is it, like 200 degrees?
Oh, they're hot as fuck, dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how hot the stove is, but I always
eggs at
assume it's
medium.
hotter than 200 degrees, but maybe you're right.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the hell do I know?
It's probably pretty close. Oh no, I'm not sure.
Let's try it.
We should settle this by trying it.
Let's make an omelet on an engine.
We should do
But
that.
none of ours, because we have tiny engines. We need a big fucking
Just
engine.
tell Cody
Yeah.
to drive his fucking Camaro
Yeah.
over if he still has it, just so we can eat off it.
So we could cook, because my engine's too small to lay anything on to cook. But
anywho, after or while they're cooking their meal on the engine, it then jumps to Axel sitting in this vacant car, and he's startled while he's playing the harmonica.
And he was pretty damn good at
He's
the harmonica.
boozing it up, baby.
Yeah.
And he was. What key was he playing in? I didn't catch that. I don't know.
The key of sad.
The key. Yeah.
The kind you play at junkyards with other men.
Yeah,
Indeed.
TJ shows up and fucking starts out harmonicing him, though.
Oh, yes. I was just going to mention that. Now, TJ startles him and hands over a bottle of, looks like Jack Daniels.
Rip off JD. It wasn't the same bottle.
Yeah.
Some whiskey.
Yeah.
Generic Canadian host.
But,
They're in Canada.
That's not offensive because they're from Canada.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Now, TJ and Axel decide that this is the place where they need to discuss their female problem. Mm-hmm. Now, this female problem is obviously Sarah. But not before having a harmonica play-off.
Oh.
Boom.
Ooh, you don't want to lose that and get talked down to.
Yeah.
It was pretty well rehearsed for a random two people meeting in a car playing the harmonica.
Oh, definitely.
Well, if they're both playing the same key, it's impossible for you to not play with each other because you're not going to be able to play a wrong note.
TJ says that it's going to be a fight for Sarah, and Axel decides that he feels the same way, and he's going to fight for this girl, and that if they fight about it, they're going to fight about it.
And they fight about it by parting ways.
Because fat ass comes over.
Mustache.
Yes, Hollis. I'm glad you know his name, because his name isn't mentioned till the very end.
Oh, dude, as soon as I saw him, I knew I had to know his name.
Who is this man?
Who is this man?
Who grows that?
Yes. Who is this manly man? But anyways, Hollis comes over to offer some engine food to TJ and to tend to TJ's hurt feelings about Sarah.
That was kind of him. Very empathetic.
Even though he definitely invited all this trouble on himself.
Yeah.
Just like MacGruber.
Yeah, you leave. I guess you got to expect that shit's going to change.
But you move on, especially one as fine as Sarah. You know, she's got
She
plenty
apparently
of gentleman callers.
Oh, definitely. She's a classy little lady in this. I think she's pretty
She
attractive.
wears longer dress. She's not like the other ones that are wearing the ones you could look up. It's a touch of class in Canada.
One you can bring to mama to watch your hockey games up in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Get your teeth knocked out in front of her.
Now, it then jumps to a scene where the chief calls the nut house to check on the status of Harry Warden's lifetime stay for his crimes. Now, when he calls, the file clerk states that there is no record of Harry Warden, past or present, and that he's either been transferred, been killed, or died, or let out.
I love that he's really, like, there's 3 options.
Yeah, he gets
I love that.
Yeah.
I love this guy because he's your textbook, like, of your father or grandfather's generation, where this guy is, he's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
This is fast food.
What
do you mean pull over?
Yeah, he gets pretty upset about this, and the mayor immediately freaks out too, and he's like, "Oh, well, maybe we should just cancel the dance," and gets all scared.
And then a cut scene to Hollis's girlfriend and TJ's love interest walking down the street.
Yep.
And I had to
Good old Patty.
cut in so that I could say this quote here.
Yes.
And she says, "You need to see the dress that I got. It's cut down to here, slid up to there. I may not make it out alive."
That probably was one of my favorite quotes of the whole movie.
It's great.
I like these little one-line quotes, and you'll notice, we'll go through it later in the podcast, but you'll notice that these little one-liners predict how these people are going to be killed, which is pretty classy. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, Patty describes her whorish outfit she'll be wearing, and insists that Sarah makes it to the party, because Sarah is this second guesser. She's always just like, maybe I don't want to do this, maybe I don't want to do that, and because of the male fight over her, she just kind of wants to disregard it and not go to the dance.
You think you'd parade that type of thing around?
Yeah,
I would be honored if 2 people were fighting over me.
Yeah. Suck out all the TITA benefits you could have by having 2 gentlemen callers, Yeah.
They both have to chauffeur you around the town. You sit in the middle of the car, one on either side of the car.
Let
both
them
have
compete.
a steering wheel.
Yeah, let them both cook you junkyard meals on the engine.
I mean, they're friends even.
Yeah. But then jumps to a scene with Chief. What's his name? Mm-hmm. And he stops at the laundromat to discuss the dance with Mabel. Now, he then notices that one of the heart decorations on the washer is upside down. He then sees another upside down heart above a dryer and starts to put some things together here.
He said something's not up to snuff.
Yeah. He then opens the dryer to find Mabel's burnt corpse on tumble dry.
Oh, yeah.
I like how long it took him to realize that there was a body in there. Like, it wouldn't just completely smell like a burnt corpse coming out of a dryer.
And it's tumbling around. This is one of the scenes you're missing out on if you didn't watch the 99-minute version. This was cut out of it. And it's a great scene. And from what I read in Rue Morgue, this was in posters and advertisements and stuff, and you never saw it in the film.
Wow. Damn, dude, that'd be frustrating.
It was an interview with, I believe it was the director.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
They did a pretty good job with a burnt toaster corpse in 1981 for how they made Mabel look for Mabel. But
and I think this is the first scene in the movie that you can tell it was an addition. It wasn't in the theatrical cut. It was in the director's cut because, like Steve mentioned, like the film is. Because it wasn't put in there, it was just put in storage, and now it's like all degraded.
And it adds a real warmth, as Chris said.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, it's just excessively long. It shows her just tumbling
with the door open. She's tumbling around. It's so great.
Yeah, and the Chief's just making this face like he's shitting his fucking pants, like literally making poo-poo time. But that cuts the scene where all the guys are ass playing down in the mine. They're back to work. And Axel starts getting on TJ's ass about doing work. I guess TJ's one of those half-ass, non-work ethic
His dad owns the mine, though, so in all fairness...
He can do what the fuck he wants.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, fuck you, Axel.
Yeah. And he still needs to recover over the mistakes he made, so...
True. So he's moping around.
If anything, Axel shouldn't be playing the foreman role. He should just be backing off, because he might lose his job. He keeps that up.
Exactly.
I thought he was the foreman until the foreman showed up and said, you guys aren't going to be fighting in my mine.
Oh, yeah. So TJ gets tired of his trash talk, walks up to him. They get face to face, and the fight's immediately broken up.
By the foreman.
Yep.
Buzzkill. I was hoping that they'd do get pretty good right there.
Oh, another fun fact.
Watch fucking TJ get his ass kicked like a bitch.
This was actually filmed in the mine, this movie.
Whoa.
So it's tight. I guess it was really hard to film and stuff. And I wanted to, knowing this, I wanted to see an actual fight in a mine. That'd be sweet. What if they fall into a barrier or something and dust falls down. That makes it epic. You hit somebody, they hit the wall, and dust falls off.
I'm sure that they would have been in the Guinness Book of World Records for that.
The most people fighting and
in
fucking
a mine
shower.
Yeah.
The fighting the furthest down in the center of the earth.
Yeah.
Yes. The biggest brawl.
The fight breaks up, cuts back to the laundromat, and the chief and the mayor look over Mabel's corpse, trying to piece together what's going on. Now, as they're hauling her old wretched ass out of there,
You notice the chief didn't inspect her good enough by...
he did not. Now, the chief finds a heart-shaped note jammed in a laceration. And this note reads, "It happened once. It happened twice. Cancel the dance or it'll happen
Thrice.
Boom.
Ooh, it's so great.
It's fucking cool.
I love that word.
So if you dance, the third kill will happen.
Exactly. If you throw the little dance part, well, if you throw that dance on the 14th, you're getting your fucking head
I mean,
kicked in.
how clear does it need to be? They should just tell these kids, like, you need to stop fucking dancing.
Yeah.
Because the shit is getting wrecked.
Yeah.
Not
Not a good
needs to
idea.
diet dances.
No. Now, this is where the mayor decides to cancel the dance and to lock up the Union Hall.
Oh, and these fucking bunch of 25 to 30-year-olds get pissed.
Oh, they get mad. They get upset that...
We go to the bar every fucking night, and you're going to cancel the dance? We can't dance at a bar.
They get quite upset, and the chief locks up the Union Hall and tells them no party's going on, and they're quite bummed. And one of the tag-along kids just says, "Oh, you're just trying to find any excuse you possibly can to cancel the dance." All right, then we jump to a scene where TJ's clocking out of work. He's trying to avoid Axel, leaving a little early. He then sees Axel coming up out from the elevator of the mine, and decides that he's going to show Axel and just leave and go
Kidnap
pick up
his
his
girlfriend.
dame.
Kidnaps his girlfriend.
And he's taking her to a place that makes people want to make sex.
Chris, how would you describe this place and the music?
It was sensual. It was very walk barefoot on the beach, sort of lakey feel.
Yeah.
One that you might expect a murderer to come out. You don't know because you are watching.
Reminds me of
B-rated
the beach from
slasher.
Maniac.
Poke out of the bushes.
Just randomly.
Place where you may pop a hymen or two.
Yeah, he was.
The black cherry.
His goal was to woo her, and he did just that.
And
He
he's
even got a little action.
He did.
Kissing.
And we can tell that he's taken her to this place a few times because he
right.
says, "You remember this spot?" And she says, "Of course, I remember this spot." And TJ apologizes.
Ooh.
He apologizes for leaving her in the dust before slamming his tongue down her throat and showing Axel that he's the man.
Yeah. Well, that'll get him.
He showed her and him.
Now, it jumps to the cage bar, scene 2.
Classy place.
It is. It's just one word away from sounding like a gay bar. Could be the bird cage.
The man cage.
Yeah, the rusty cage. That's what it should be.
Rusty cage is pretty funny.
Now, Axel bumps into TJ just showing up at the bar, and he asks...
The cock cage.
He asks TJ where Sarah is, and he's just wondering where Sarah's at. I think he's kind of getting the idea that something's going on here.
Hey,
It's not my turn to watch out for.
He's
Wait, that was a terrible Canadian accent. I was trying to do this. It's not my turn to watch out for, is what he said. I realized I'm not good at doing his type of Canadian accent.
followed by a
It's
wink.
tough.
All you have to say is A after that.
Well, no, but he had a different. He's from East Canada.
I'm sorry.
I can do more Western Canadian. You know, like take the roundabout. But this guy sounded more like this Eastern Nova Scotia accent he has is more like an Irish mixed with Canadian.
Yeah, it's a little bit more aggressive. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know how to break it to you. Anyway, so yeah, it wasn't his turn to watch her.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, did he drop Sarah off? Because it then cuts to a scene where she's just fucking walking in the dark home.
The walk of shame.
He drops her off. He does the Prince off Purple Rain and abandons her naked at the lake, and then so she's still walking home and he's just drinking at the bar.
No, she's walking home in the dark while the killer is out on the loose, and she bumps into someone, and a light shines in her face. So you get the idea that this may be Harry. Now, We find out that it's just the chief creeping the town in the middle of the night with a flashlight.
Just looking around at people's windows.
He's making the rounds.
It's a little creepy.
Yeah, but
it makes me feel safe. This happens on Picture Dorian Gray book. The guys, they take the rounds every night. It's safe.
They do that.
Except for even in that book, he's murdering Basil because they're taking the rounds. So this helps nothing. In fact, it encourages crime.
Oh, dude. It jumps back to bar. We'll call it the cock cage. The rusty cock cage.
And I think it makes sense because, don't male chickens fight in a cage?
They do.
See? The cock cage.
Or a cement pit in Mexico.
Oof.
Yeah. I don't know, but bar scene 3. Town Nut tells TJ that Mabel didn't have a heart attack. He says, quote, "She got it just the way I said. Heart attack my ass."
Mm-hmm. So he's the full barkeep, but he's also very wise up until about this point.
He's insightful. I like him.
Mm-hmm. People would probably survive if they listened to his crazy ass.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody's making fun of them. I actually thought that Howard was a D-bag. And by D, I mean fucking douchebag. Because he was doing stupid things like, and then he'd laugh, when this guy's telling his stories.
And he multiple times is like telling him, don't laugh, boy, this ain't a joke.
But do you know what would be even better? Okay, and then I decided maybe Howard's onto something, because I would do something similar, I guess. I mean, Trevor, why don't you start being that old man, and I'll do what I would have done.
Well, Harry Warren, 20 years ago, boy, don't you make noises.
That'd be way more satisfying. You think if you would have busted out and done the fart at him instead of just a noise?
Or just punch him in the face and laugh at him.
Pull on the old man's dick.
Just push him to the ground, because that's the best.
Breaks his hip.
Oh, shit.
His shenanigans weren't that bad.
Yeah, unfortunately. It would have been great. Like the good old have a buddy crawl behind him.
Yeah, push him so he slips over.
Whoa. Now, after TJ's told this little tale, everybody decides to have a party since the dance is canceled.
Because they couldn't have the party in the bar.
Mm-hmm. And why they chose this place for a party, you're just asking for it. Like, you are just asking for it.
Talking about TJ suggesting to have the party in his dad's mine.
Yeah, and this is where I just call him ugly because he's like the ugliest fucking person in this movie. But he just says, yeah, in the mine where people get killed and eaten.
The mullet?
Yeah, the fucking
mullet with the dirt stash?
Yeah, Toucan Sam knows. That dude. But TJ threatens the town nut because they all decide to have the party there, so he threatens the town nut not to tell anybody where the party's going to be.
I thought that part was pretty great, that he threatens the old man.
Yeah. Now
don't you go telling.
To me, the town nut in this film is a lot better than the one in Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah. Well, then Ralph?
Yeah.
Ralph is classy, but...
Yeah. I don't know, though.
But this guy looks like he'd kick your ass, and he could tell you a thing or two.
And then serve you a drink after he beat your ass.
Slide it to you.
Teach you a lesson.
This is the kind of guy I want to look up and say, what time is it? And I want him to say, the clock on the wall says 3 o'clock. That's the kind of guy I want.
Oh, yeah. Now, speaking of Friday the 13th, I feel like this story is like kind of the same blueprint, but instead of a camp, it's a mine.
Well, mine is way scarier than a camp.
It is, but
You're
like
stuck.
I'm talking about the skeleton.
Yeah,
of the story.
It's around the same time too.
Yeah, so I like it.
Yeah, it had a very similar feel.
Yeah.
But now, who could kick more ass?
Ooh.
Harry Warden or Mrs. Voorhees?
Ooh, that was a tricky one. I thought you were
Come on, Mrs. Voorhees.
I thought I was going to make you a fool when you said Jason.
Grow up. Jason can't even die. Jason Voorhees only goes to die where every horror movie goes to die. Space.
Yes.
In 7 films.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that
10.
Good old Harry would slip Miss Voorhees roofie and just bang her brains out
with a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Strap in and fill the G's. So the barkeep gets all liquored up and decides he's gonna scare those fucking kids.
Yeah. He definitely sets up a prank that would ruin the kids' party.
He loves the prank.
He does.
He created a kid's mousetrap of sorts.
Like, god damn! Yes, he did.
He makes it so you're gonna fucking die if you open this door. You're not gonna get scared.
This is
Tell him about. Why don't you get into what the trap looks like?
So it's a pretty morbid prank, if I do say so.
Yes.
He basically dresses up someone as HW.
Yep.
And he puts a spring that basically propels anyone who opens the door with a pitchfork, opens it about 3 or 4 times.
Pickaxe.
Sorry, pickaxe. My apologies.
You're fine.
Opens the door and laughs like a crazy ass 3 to 4 times.
Jesus Christ.
He's shutting it open and laughing. He loves this joke.
He decides to covet his nasty work.
He's just masturbating while he's looking at Harry.
He's proud. He's proud of that mouse trap.
Makes sex to the trap.
It was a pretty good trap, though. Like, if I had set that up, I'd feel pretty good.
Yeah.
But he has no room to talk about HW if he's willing to take out a kid just in pure spite of not listening to his ass.
Right. Yeah. He would have taken out one kid, but it would have scared them all away. but the HW incident, Harry Warden incident, takes out like all the kids almost.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. And I noticed that in this scene, it starts out when the nut's breaking into the mine. It starts out with a camera angle down at the boots and the feet, and then slowly moves up, and you can see the pickaxe. So you think it's the killer, and then it's actually the old nut. So you're just like, maybe he could be the killer.
Who's running this bar? Because it can't possibly be after like 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know. That's funny. But the weird thing too, it sets up another little kind of weird thing is as the town nut goes in and breaks into the mine to set the trap up, the chief also shows up at the same time. Now he immediately leaves, or does he leave? What happens? I don't know. This
He
kind of
just spot checks the fence is locked, and gets the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, but you can kind of get the sense that, or an idea that he may be a killer too. Maybe.
Yeah. There's quite a few red herrings in this bad boy.
Yeah,
sure.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah,
I liked it as well. It kept me guessing.
Now, for some reason, the nut decides, like we mentioned, to covet his nasty work.
He even starts walking off and decides, one more time.
Yeah. Now, he opens up the door the fucking 20th time. And
after hearing a few creaks in the ground.
Yeah. Cackles, and then goes back and opens it up and notices that the killer's there.
Harry gives him a piece of ass this time.
Oh, yeah. Pickaxe him through the fucking throat and out his eyeball.
And the way that works is you got to swing the pickaxe up.
Yeah.
Right at somebody's under their chin.
Boom.
Right into the bottom of the eye.
Pops his eye out. Yep.
Yeah. Pops his eye out. I thought those were pretty cool special effects.
Yeah, pretty cool.
This was another cut scene.
I know people who would, that'd be their worst nightmare, that scene right there.
Kale would have killed himself. You're right. I think about him every time I see iPlay.
And I thought it was pretty classy how after he kills him, he just drags his ass with the pickaxe through his neck. Like through the ground.
That's a must for any slasher, you know. Just take your prey. You gotta
love what you do.
You do. You gotta enjoy it.
Otherwise, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Steven Tyler once said, "If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing."
That's right.
It starts out Saturday. It has like a title on the screen right in front of the mine. It says Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day.
So I just want to know, Chris, you're the residential pool expert. How hard is it to do what she's done with her knuckle pool shooting?
Oh, yes.
Well, it's really hard to get great accuracy with that sort of holding the pool cue on your knuckles, and she hits it in. She does a pretty damn good job, which makes you hope that she doesn't die.
Yeah, so that's what connected you to her, I see.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn, this bitch better not die. She's a class act.
She's a shark.
Spoiler alert. She will.
Damn. Never to be seen again playing pool with her knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you see all these kids show up to the party in the mine. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, dude, Slaughterfest. It's not like these shitty movies where you see like 5 people show up to the party. Sorry, Night of the Demons, but it was fucking that shit party. But anyways, like literally 20, 30 people are inside here, and you're like, yeah, we're going to see some crazy action.
Like fish in a barrel.
Oh, yeah. And it then jumps to a scene where Chief, he goes back to the police station, he's checking on the curfew. But keep in mind, he told all the kids that he's canceling the Valentine's Day dance and that he doesn't want any parties going on, because if these parties go on, the killer obviously will go out.
It would have helped if he would have brought up the fact that people were being killed, so stop doing it.
Sure.
Like, this would have stopped it.
Yeah, he was trying to hide the fact that the killer was out.
If somebody was like, you just need to stop for Mabel's sake, then I'd be like, fuck that. But if somebody was like, if you're seen at a party, you're probably going to be killed, then I'd be like, I'm not going to that party.
Since when did children fucking have respect for old people? Never.
Yeah. In fact, it makes you want to do the opposite of what they said because they're fucking old.
It's not their turn, it's our turn.
Yeah.
It's our turn.
Yes. Now, after he checks on the curfew, the officer tells him that, hey, everything seems to be quiet now because the kids went to the mine. You know, the rest of the town's quiet.
They assume they simmered down and went to bed early on a Saturday night.
Exactly. But the chief is given a heart-shaped box from the other officer.
Makes him quiver like a great boiled egg.
Yeah, and he
Not
tells
another heart.
And this is a funny scene because he has this startled face after seeing this box. And the other officer that gives it to him is like, what the fuck is he looking at it like this? Because the officer doesn't know what's going on, apparently.
Yeah.
And he tells the officer to leave the room.
Go get me some coffee.
Yes. So he opens up the box, and it's actually chocolates, and it was from Mabel.
Yeah, which is sad.
Because he just had to see her fucking corpse spinning in the dryer.
Yeah.
I wish...
Little thoughtful bugger.
Yeah.
And she sent that off before she was brought to her demise.
Granny Spry. She was old as fuck.
Sweet old lady.
She was clearly 20 years older than him. She was old.
She was just looking for a ride on that pogo stick.
Was Grandma dry? No, but I wish they would have played like super sad music.
That would be great.
Dude, it would have been so fucking funny.
Poor Mabel.
Just like a narrative, like a story song of Mabel's life.
This movie did have its own theme song with that type of thing, singing about the travesties. So it would have been great if the Gordon Lightfoot sounding guy would have also sang a song about Mabel.
Exactly, and that's how you know that this has moved from a $1 million budget to 2. They have a theme song.
Theme songs.
Boom. Now, after the little sad scene where you see that the chief was in love with Mabel, jumps back to the party. Everyone's having a gay old time.
Oh yeah, snorting coke.
Through
a straw, which makes me wonder why are you drinking a coke at a fucking party?
Yeah, you fucking.
What was his line the first time I tried? I nearly drowned.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what he says.
God, this guy's looking to get a penis in his ass.
Now let's
Not
talk.
that there's anything wrong with that.
Let's talk about another penis butt here. When you wear Wranglers, a fucking mutton bustin' awarded belt buckle, and a fucking dress shirt with a skinny
shit.
tie, you're getting your ass kicked.
Yep.
And in this case, having the munchies and looking like an asshole leads to drowning and having your face burned in a fucking tub full of hot dogs.
Exactly. And this is another scene that's cut.
And hot dog flavored water would be probably the worst way to go out.
Oh, yeah.
That's the last thing you taste before you die.
In
Fred
your head,
Durst
you're playing
named
that
it.
shitty Limp Bizkit songs.
Dude, that'd have been so funny if that they came out.
Hot dog flavored water.
They just re-released that, and the only thing they changed in this movie on the re-release is that while he's getting fucking burned.
His face is melting off.
Mm-hmm. But after this, it then jumps to the chief again. Now, after mourning the loss of Mabel and moping around, he states to the other officer that he has a feeling about the mine and is going to go back and check it out. Now, as he walks outside, he finds a pack of wild dogs mauling a heart-shaped package.
Fucking dogs run the city.
Yeah. I think these dogs in the scene are like actual real scrounge-ass dogs.
Yeah, like the one chasing the truck that almost got ran over. That was not part of the acting.
Very
One of them-
authentic.
Yeah, one of them keeps jumping at fucking...
The truck. He almost goes under the tires.
At the truck, but he keeps jumping at like the chief guy,
This is
dude.
a
Like he's
wild
gonna
pack of
bite
dogs.
him.
They go out there to just, look at that Valentine. But then there's fucking just random wild dogs that try to attack this. This is overrun by dogs, like on It's Always Sunny.
It makes you wonder if any animal was hurt in the filming of this process. 'Cause
They
if
had to
there's-
kill him.
Yeah,
off
you might have to
finish.
like kick a dog in the face if it's coming at you like that. You know?
This was before, so it's okay at this time.
Yeah, you have to
They
disclose
cut off
that
a
in
head of a
1981.
snake on Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It's a real snake.
Damn.
This makes me want to watch the movie Dogs.
Dogs.
Dogs, they're coming.
Dicks.
Coming to get you.
There's really like a movie from I think it's late 70s, 80s called Dogs, and the dogs just decide they're going to kill people. Stay tuned. We may review it. May
It's no
kill
Cujo.
myself. Yeah, it's no Cujo. I may kill myself watching Dogs.
Yeah, I'll review the killing.
I'm gonna go out and buy the special edition and just fucking feel like a terrible asshole after buying it probably, but
So is this the scene then that comes up where they're down in the, the two sneak off, the Kevin Bacon's way more handsome redheaded brother sneaks down with this girl?
yes. But prior to that,
Oh, I see.
doesn't the chief find a note on this heart-shaped
Oh,
box?
yeah, okay. Yeah, the dogs.
It's fucking pretty blatant. It says, he walks outside, grabs the package. It says, you didn't stop the party.
This
Come
guy
on.
is fucking peeking through windows now. He knows where The party is.
So, would you guess who it was based on these very well written Valentine notes? Does it make you question who it might be? Like,
That's a good question. Huh.
It's definitely an insider at the party. You would think that it's a loser that's not got somebody to hang out with.
Yeah, I thought, but you don't. Yeah,
It's throwing a lot at Howard's way. Maybe even a hint towards TJ at this point.
I felt some TJ vibe. For sure.
When I first watched this, I thought it was. I was like, dude, TJ's the fucking douchebag.
Whoa.
And
He's
then
a stylish dresser.
we'll talk about that.
Arguably,
I like his dressing.
he looks like a gay sailor. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, not that there's anything wrong with it, but he dresses more like John Fogerty, like a man's man. He's a man. CCR fame.
You'll be the judge.
Yes, but after the rabid dogs that they gathered up on the streets and let roam back out, jumps to a scene back to the party, and all seems to be going well except for Axel and Sarah. Looks like Sarah doesn't want to give good old Axel a kiss. Have her feelings changed?
She also doesn't want to be TJ'd either, though, at this point.
Yeah, I think she just cooled off. Doesn't like the drama of two.
She doesn't like men anymore.
Callers. Yeah, she may be a gone butch.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's.
TJ seems to be showing his real colors here with the bandana around the neck. Now Steve says that this is all fun and games and all
good. It's a good look. This is a man's man. He only has 2 buttons buttoned up on his 5-button shirt. That's the way to go.
Now,
needs to be more buttons unbuttoned than buttoned.
Sure. And could that be the reason why he picks a fight with Axel only to get his ass kicked?
Hey, he's teaming with testosterone, and he's planning on just sticking a fucking pickaxe through his head later.
Yes, he literally grabs Axel by the shoulder and says, "I've had enough." And then Axel proceeds to smash him in the face.
In TJ's defense, and I'm only defending him because he dresses great, I think he's saving his energy to bone Axel's girlfriend later.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
I think you're on to something. He's got to keep that stamina. He can't be handing it out left and right to a bunch of fucking fools.
Yeah. Any two-trick biddy on the street.
But it's not easy to get Sarah's affection.
No. But anyways, TJ, right before he literally gets plummeted, fat ass Hollis stops the fight, and Axel takes his beer elsewhere and leaves.
Smart play.
Smart play.
Speaking of someone that should have taken their beer elsewhere, Kevin Bacon's more handsome redheaded brother and his girlfriend are downstairs getting ready to get down downtown.
Yeah.
In the basement, and she's putting him off kind of. She's like, "How do you get these uniforms down?" And he's like, "Oh, say, do you just pull on it?" And then she's like, "We should have some beers." And if he would have been thinking just like Axel was, he would have brought the beers and be like, "All right, that's enough." But instead, he leaves. Trouble ensues.
He does. Now, I named this the Children of the Corn sex scene because of redheaded ginger fuck.
Oh yeah, that kid's way up.
His name's John too. His name's Ginger John. That's what I'm calling him. But yeah, he just looks like fucking somebody from Children of the Corn, and the girl has kind of reddish brown hair too. So I was like, oh Jesus Christ.
They're not the handsomest of couples,
but they're not bad though. They're not
bad.
Of the Corn.
Yeah, but I feel like this was like a pro sex ad. Use protection, kids.
Oh yeah, he does bust that out of his wallet, but you're not supposed to keep those in your wallet.
But what did she ask him? She's like, "Do you? What did she say?"
She said something like, "You have anything, or do you know what we need?"
Did you bring what we needed?
Yeah, I got one. I mean, what kind of asshole sneaks off from a party and doesn't bring some beer?
Yeah.
Even if you don't drink it, just
minors don't wear condoms.
He's not a. Oh, I see. He's like a filthy, like a sailor.
Yeah, he's a fucking.
I feel like that's complete opposite of the reality. Is minors would bring the beer, but not the condoms.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. They just pull out.
Yeah.
That's the name of their game, Steve.
Well, go into the dirt.
No, dick in the dirt. This is where that.
I'm gonna semen all over these fucking coals, and
that'll show TJ on Monday when he has to clean it up.
Oh shit! But yeah, Ginger John forgets the 6-pack. So he goes back to grab a few beers before sticking it to his ginger girlfriend. Now, he tells her to stay back in the shower room of the mine. Girl starts getting spooked by the clothes falling from the hangers, like Steve had mentioned.
A bunch of them start falling. The problem is he should have just, plopped it in anyway despite the beer need for the beer. Then, as they reached climax, all of these suits could have been dropping at the same time.
Before. Oh wow!
Yeah.
Look at you.
Boom!
You directed this, and it was all in slow motion, like as it's like climaxing, and then it just cuts to.
Def Leppard going on.
Yeah.
This time instead of the Mr.
Yes.
When you make love. But anyway, so this girl, she gets scared into the showers, and this is the human shower head scene.
Yeah, she finds the dead town nut hanging from one of those hooks, and then bumps into good old Harry. Right,
Harry Warden.
Not a good place to be.
Right,
No.
and this is a cut scene where he picks her up, and in these showers at this place, this is how they really have them in mines, or at least they used to. They're just cut pieces of metal and kind of crimped, so they spray water, and so they're really sharp. Like, they're actually just really sharp. So what he does is he just picks her up, sticks her head through it, and the shower head protrudes out of her open mouth. So he sticks the back end of her head into it, and the shower head comes out of the front of her mouth. And then he turns it on just to add insult to injury.
Yeah. He takes pride in his work. We mentioned this when we were watching it. Like,
he's a details man.
He's like, you know what? This is my art. This is my trait.
She needs some water protruding.
She does. And he got the job done. Now,
it's beautiful.
Yes. Now this is where Ginger.
It's like art.
It is art. It's a work of art. Now Ginger John comes back, and he sees the showers going, so he assumes that his ginger girlfriend is wanting to bump uglies in the shower. And as he goes in there, he sees her impaled in the back of the head with this like shower thing, and the water's just protruding out of her mouth. He drops a 6-pack and he's freaked.
What a killer mood. Like, you're thinking to yourself, I'm about to get fucked in the mine.
Yeah.
And you walk up to see your lady just
boner kill, man.
Yeah, being hung from the shower.
It'll drop it.
Impaled.
From hard to soft.
Yep. Real quick.
Really quick. It then jumps to a scene where the chief makes it back to the mine to check it out. But before he can break up the party and walk in, he gets a call from dispatch telling him to tend to some lady. You notice that? So he leaves yet again.
He's a busy guy. They might think on hiring another cop.
Yeah, maybe another 2, maybe 3.
It's kind of convenient that he just kept disappearing. Right?
Yeah, you know, he kind of was...
I'd be pissed, dude. You keep going there and you have to fucking turn around and leave. But yeah, you get the red herring feel here. You're like, dude, he is up to something.
He's sketchy. Yeah. And his haircut is just telling me the same.
I like him, but I trust him with my life.
I canceled him out, even close to the beginning of the film being the killer, because...
How distraught he was about Mabel.
Yeah, and you're like, you know what? He wouldn't have just fucking killed this 75-year-old geriatric old lady he was fucking.
He loved Mabel.
Yeah. He loved getting BJ's when she had her false teeth out and having her cook him oatmeal the next morning.
And all the delicious treats she gives him from the grave.
Oh my.
Necrophilia. After the chief leaves, Ben jumps back to this lively kicking party. And it seems that all the girls want to go down into the mine and see where their boys work and what they do.
Something about 45-degree temperatures in a mine really gets them excited.
Yeah, well, I think the boys decide in the girls' favor because with it being so cold down there, they may want to see some RT. Now, the boys decide to take the ladies down. That way they can see where the ass play takes place.
Yeah, smells like guy asshole.
TJ, the party pooper, throws out this rule. You know the rule, no women in the mine.
I love that rule. Yeah. It's so great.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
Is it to protect them, or is it because they're chauvinistic pigs?
Yeah, it's no PDA. It's not no PDA in the mine. It's not no fucking around in the mine. It's definitely not no man ass grabbing in the mine. It's no women in the mine.
And what does that tell us, Steve?
Women shouldn't be allowed to vote.
And what else? This movie must have been made
you're right.
by men.
This is probably one of the only times that tells me that this movie must have been made by men.
Yes. But yeah, you get that idea. Now,
well, I mean, we'll touch on this later, so why don't you just go ahead?
Okay, I'll keep going.
You know.
I'll keep going. Now, after TJ drops the rule, this is where Fat Ass says, "You know what? We'll make it quick. We'll take the ride down there. We'll come back up."
Nothing wrong with operating a machine after you've been drinking.
Now,
especially with that mustache, you can.
TJ just got his ass kicked by Axel. He doesn't want his ass kicked by fat ass.
No.
So he's like, you know what? I'll let it slide. So,
And whenever Hollis grabs somebody, they stop.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that must mean he's tough and fat.
yeah.
He's
and
got
has
all the
diabetes.
Yeah, well, he's got all that extra sugar coursing through his veins at all times in case he has to use it. And an ass-kicking match.
It's Popeye.
Yeah.
Popeye with sugar.
Yeah, with sugar. It may or may not lead to him having his feet cut off because they turn black later on in the years, but...
Is that a Larry H. Miller joke?
Yes.
Oh.
That's harsh.
Too soon?
I'm a big fan of his basketball team.
I'm a big fan of him not being the owner of the Jazz. Put some fucking money into it, you fucking bum.
Stop choosing the best white guys in the NBA and give
Hey.
them some real town.
Yes.
We could get into this if you want, but we picked a good white guy this time.
But another...
All right.
Yeah, we did. But another episode, we'll talk about the Jazz.
We'll get
And
back into Gordon Hayward's salary and him living up to it later.
Boom. Now, as the group cruise down the mine... Now, who's all with them? Steve, you know the names of these characters. There's
shit.
Sarah, there's Patty,
Right, and there's
there's
Hollis.
Hollis and Howard, right?
Right, and TJ is there.
TJ's not there yet.
Well, TJ's not there yet.
No, but as they all drink, they cruise down the mine. They come to a stop, and this is where they decide to take a tour of the abandoned mine.
And we also find out that Howard doesn't even know his way around his own fucking work.
Yeah, when that happened, I was like, was he not like a miner?
Hey, you
What
weren't
was he
there.
fucking
You just
doing?
follow somebody around the whole time?
He spends more time there than anywhere else.
Right.
He's spending all that time trying to think up this fucking snazzy material.
Which is
because he's the
awful.
class clown. He's a joke. But anyways, two of the group decide to split up so they can go bump uglies in the dark somewhere. Now, that's Mike and Harriet, I believe.
Not the sexiest place to bone. I don't get the appeal. Like, everyone just wants to get down.
It's cold in there, too.
Well, when you're-
Everything you're touching with your bare skin is going to be cold.
Well, when you're ugly, like fucking Mike and Harriet, they're both the ugliest fucking people in this movie, and I even noted this.
Harriet wasn't
They are
Ugly people fucking the dirt, Steve.
That's where they belong.
Okay. Which one
That's
is
where they're
Harriet
supposed
again?
to fuck.
Dude,
I don't recall what Harriet looks like
She-
here. I
not
could have sworn
very
she
good.
was Showerhead. Is that not Showerhead?
No,
I thought
that's
Showerhead's
not
name was
Showerhead.
Harriet.
Trust me.
Okay.
I went back in my notes here because I was
Alright,
like, you know,
I'll
because
trust ya.
because Hollis
Only
mentioned.
because you asked me to.
Okay. But as they go down
Terrible
there,
name, by the way.
it is terrible.
Harriet.
Mike and Harriet go back to go bump uglies, and the other group continues on the tour. Now it jumps back to the party, and the giant realization that the murders are going on hits hard. Everybody finds out because they find multiple murders.
Everywhere they look, dead bodies.
Dead body in the
Yeah.
fucking fridge.
Blonde hairspray girl with like the hairsprayed
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
hairdo
Okay, yeah.
comes running in because she
Helmet.
found the heart in the food.
They should have just ate it. If these
Yeah.
were a generation before, they would have just fucking ate that thing. And they would have been like, finally, something healthy in here.
Yeah.
Not hot dogs.
Well, they were from the Great Depression, so
Whatever I make you eat.
Yeah, the
Money
livers.
doesn't grow on trees.
gotta make everything count.
And when you buy hot dogs and cook hot dogs, I mean, sometimes I guess you can expect some shitty to be in there. Right?
Yeah, I think I would trust a heart more than a liver, though. I mean, I'm sure it's really chewy and tough, but
Yeah.
the liver is gross.
And also in the scene, Axel and TJ team up. And they decide to put their woes aside and to go back down in the mine and save Sarah.
Because the woman
no one
they
else.
love is in trouble.
And but not before making sure that they put their full work attire on and safety gear on as well.
This is great because you can't tell which one
Is who?
is which. Like, you
Exactly.
know their names, but, I mean, all they have to do at this point, and it's hinting towards it.
Yep.
All they have to do is slip on a mask, and it could be either one.
They all look like Harry Warden.
Yeah, exactly. And when you first watch this and you see this, you're like, what the fuck? But it's like a setup payoff. Like, you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. But you do question.
Also, it would be smart because what these other people are wearing, it's cold down there. What they put on is their work gear, and they're going to be, you know, at normal operating temperature because a mine
Yeah.
doesn't change temperature. It's the same.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd be appropriately dressed.
Safety first.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. You don't want to be the asshole that gets lost and cold.
You don't want to be asshole that has a rock drop and hit you in the head because you're not wearing your helmet, dummy. Duh.
I never want to be that asshole.
Only Hollis puts it on, though. The rest of the people, the women, he doesn't suggest it.
He just gives them
did-
blankets.
Right, he doesn't even give him the helmet. I mean, just give him... Usually you see a guy on a motorcycle, he's not wearing a helmet, his girlfriend's wearing his helmet. But But he's fucking like, I'm wearing this helmet, this hard hat, and you guys can fuck off.
He has a high amount of confidence to protect himself over everyone else.
Exactly.
With that mustache, you know.
Well,
Great
man, at that
confidence.
fucking stature and ugliness, he pulls women, so he doesn't give a fuck. He's very confident.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll be back to operating the train before you know it.
Yeah. Now, we go back to the ass play down in the middle of the mine. And it leads to a big scare here. Howard, or the class clown, the goofy guy of the group, scares the shit out of the girls and Fat Ass. And Fat Ass says, Howard, come on. You'd lose your head if it wasn't tied on.
I don't remember it being tied on, but...
Well, this is a fun fact here. Like I
Heads are
mentioned...
tied on.
Yes, they are. But anyways, this is what I mentioned a little earlier, how these little one-liners describe how these people are going to die. And his head is not necessarily tied on when he gets killed, but he has a noose around his neck.
He tears his body off later.
Yeah, so this happens a lot in this
Little
movie. I think
Easter
it's cool.
eggs.
It is, dude. It's cool. I like it.
Dark foreshadowing and brooding. This is like a Christopher Nolan film.
Before Christopher Nolan was even
Fat.
Yeah, exactly.
or worth talking about.
And while Fat Ass pulls Howard out of that little hiding spot he's in, the killer begins to stalk. You can hear the breathing. He begins to stalk, and then they move on further in the tunnel. Now we then jump to a scene with Mike and Harriet, and they continue to make out and be ugly.
Oh, yeah, there's no change in that.
Now, while the rest of the group goes further and further into the tunnel, the killer starts busting all of the tunnel lights.
This is great. Harry Warden starts busting out the lights, and I know it's not Harry Warden because they found out he's dead, but we're gonna just call this figure Harry Warden.
Yes.
He's fucking clocking out these lights with the pickaxe.
He knows what he's doing. He's got this planned.
Right, this is great, and this is something that also happens in the remake, which is also great. This scene is great.
It's great imagery. It's really is just
poof, lights out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really violent.
And if you hear something like that coming, you don't think that's rats. You think some fucking asshole's busting out the lights with a pickaxe. We can get out of here.
And you know how hard it is to fucking pull a broken light bulb out of a socket? He's doing double damage. You try to screw a broken fucking... Let's break your light in here, Steve, and try to unscrew it when it's broke. Not happening.
I don't even have a light fund, so it would be out.
But after that good old scene while they're making out and the killer's busting the lights, it jumps upstairs. The rest of the kids find Chief and warn him that the party at the mine has triggered more murders. And the Chief calls back to the dispatch for backup and heads to the mine. So hopefully, finally he gets to go in there and save the fucking day.
Yeah. Kick some ass and save some lives.
Yeah. Take some names.
Yeah.
He's rising up to Steve's potential that he's...
Yes.
That standard that Steve's putting up
He's
for him.
He's a manly man, dude.
Mm-hmm. It then jumps back to the scene where the group that's down in the mine are walking around and they get spooked because they see the possible killer. But they find out that it's TJ. TJ's just down there to save the day. Howard is stuck watching the girls because I guess they decide when TJ gets down there that they're going to split up. TJ's going to go find... I don't know what TJ was going to go find. Steve, do you?
No, but fun fact, Chris used to have a dog named TJ.
Oh, that's pretty cool. What happened to TJ?
Sad story.
Old age?
No, he died because he swallowed an Easter egg and it cut him up from the insides.
Jesus Christ.
Rascal.
Like a plastic Easter egg?
Yeah.
Was there money in it or something cool in it?
No, there's like jelly beans or something stupid. He shouldn't have been getting into it.
What a rascal.
But I guess someone had stepped on it, smashed him into little pieces. So
fuck.
Poor little guy.
Dogs that are vacuums, it's not a good thing.
That's not good, man. God damn. That's not good. But TJ splits the group up. He decides to go check on, I believe, Fat Ass. And...
Hollis?
Or no. TJ goes to go look around and find a way out or something like that. And then Hollis goes out to go find the two uglies.
Meanwhile, though, while he's searching around,
Howard stuck with the two girls.
Howard mentions he doesn't know where the fuck he's going because he's a retard.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. And Hollis sees people dead. He sees the people dead with a fucking like giant, I don't know what it is, giant drill bit looking thing sticking out of him.
Sure.
And then Harry Warden, this is another cut scene, fucks his shit up by fucking just sending nails through his head.
Oh, definitely, dude.
Through that nail gun.
Two nail guns.
Yeah, one through the temple, one through the center of the forehead.
Yeah.
Got him good.
Yeah, Fat Ass makes the mistake of going into that engine room or whatever that runs electricity to go find a head full of nails going in there. So after Fat Ass goes to the engine room, finds Harriet dead, then gets his ass nailed by Harry.
Nice.
Fat Ass then stumbles back to the girls and Howard, startling all of them with the nails in his head. He
actually bumbling around at this point.
Yeah, he doesn't completely die.
He's just a zombie with nails protruding through his brain.
And a good mustache.
Great mustache.
And so the girls notice that, and it startles the shit out of them, so they start running off. And the killer spots them, and Howard leaves because he sees the killer. He just leaves the girls behind. He says, hey, follow me, whatever, but he just leaves them.
Hey, it's not my fault that you can't keep up.
Yeah, I'm
telling you to follow me. It's not like he pushed him over and ran.
Yeah.
He did what I would have done, which is
follow
me
or fuck
out
off. Yeah.
You need to run after me. And if you're wearing high heels, take them off or else you're going to die. Like, it's not my problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, my girlfriend, you're just some fucking random bum. At this point, you're fucking girlfriend of the dead Hollis.
You have no duty to save her in any way.
Yeah, I mean, like,
that.
I'll help you along. I'm not going to push you over, but I'm going to fucking put you on my back.
Yeah, yeah. So Howard...
I'm not a big man.
Howard runs off, and the girls also run because they spot the killer, and the girls bump into Alex, who is dressed like Harry, and it startles them once again.
Yeah.
Axel decides that he's going to begin to guide them out of this hellhole, get them back to the tunnel. Now, once again, there's another startle because they run into another killer, or killer look-alike, and they find out that it's TJ. But before they find out that it's actually TJ, Axel gives TJ a fucking huge-ass stick to the stomach with that big-ass log.
Tummy sticks. Yeah, he fucking clocks him. He's like, oh, I thought you were Harry.
There was a lot of dick teases with, it's going to be Harry.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
they prime you. They get you bulging. You're pulsing. Like, you're throbbing at this point before you actually see what goes on. Like, they definitely tease your prick.
They're good at that.
Tease your prick. But
almost lick it.
They decide here this is where the wise thing will be to go to the elevator and get the fuck out of there. Now they show up to the elevator and find that it's been destroyed. So they must climb the tunnel.
Up this fucking moldy ass old decrepit ladder.
Mm-hmm. Now before they continue, it jumps to a scene with Chief, and he's found his way back to the mine. No more dispatch calls to draw his attention elsewhere. And the mine shaft, he finds out, is also locked and broke. So he's unable to get back down there. So the chief goes back to his truck after hearing the dispatch. He does draw his attention and leaves again. He has his attention drawn elsewhere.
This guy ragged.
Yeah, he's fucking... I don't know what he's doing. But you get the idea here that he may have something to do with it.
Hopefully he's not on salary, though. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's working his sweet ass off.
Yeah.
Give that man a raise.
Sweet ass it is.
Jumps back down under the ground to Axel, TJ, and Sarah, and Patty.
The fucking goons climbing a ladder.
Uh-huh. With them realizing the elevator shaft's broke, they start climbing the shaft.
Mm-hmm.
And Patty is continuously reminded to stop being a bitch.
Patty...
She won't fucking stop crying.
Okay, Patty and what's the other girl's name?
Sarah.
Okay, yeah, Sarah, the main girl. Mm-hmm. Patty and Sarah are climbing this ladder in high heels. This movie must have been made by men. Women would have never climbed this in high heels.
Dude, and she would not stop bitching, man. Like, I was so ready for
She's
her
like,
to...
look at that. There are these people that exist, though, and what I would say is it's probably best you just throw them down the ladder.
Yeah.
You had a good point when we were watching this. You're like, it's not scary climbing up ladders. It's scary fucking climbing down them.
It's way more scary climbing down this type of thing.
Yeah. But, she won't stop bitching, and Sarah just keeps calling her out on it.
And they finally climb all the way up to as high as they're going to go.
Yep, they climb up, and they run into good old Howard here, but he's not as funny and joyful as usual.
What is he, Chris?
He's dead.
He has a noose tied around his neck, and he's dropped from somewhere.
Yeah, he goes swinging down.
And from the extreme amount of gravity pulling his retarded ass down, the rope fucking pulls his head off.
Revealing his rat teeth getting pulled down.
Yeah. He definitely does not have a dental plan.
No, he had rat teeth, for sure.
He's
Now,
more borderline British than Canadian at this point.
True.
yeah.
British Columbia, indeed.
Now, the rope around Howard's neck decapitates him, spraying blood all over the girls. I thought that was pretty funny.
It was a sexy twist.
And this is where they decide climbing the elevator is not a great idea, so they head down towards the rail cars.
They go all the way back down this fucking wet ass ladder.
And while they head towards the rail cars, Axel somehow falls into this water. They're running through the mine shaft, and he falls into this 60-foot deep water pond.
Stupid asshole breaks through the board and falls right in the water.
This is really weird because he falls in it out of camera, and you don't know. I guess you can kind of say, "Oh, the killer pushed him in."
There's bubbling coming up, and you can see his light down at the bottom. And TJ is like, "I'm not getting in there. That's 60 feet deep, and it's 45 degrees in there, so the water's got to be fucking cold."
Yeah, he's done for. But TJ tells the girls to follow him and to forget about Axel. And while he goes back to check something out, he tells the girls to follow the wall and just continue walking. Now, as they walk, they start hearing noises, and all of a sudden, Patty gets a stomach full of pickaxe.
Pickaxe to the stomach.
And Sarah here just conveniently walks away.
Yeah, she gets away pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, she's bitching. She needed to die.
Yeah. Oh.
It was a good moment in the film where she just gets taken in the belly.
Yeah.
And she's gone.
Yeah. I remember the phrase when my dad would get pissed off. He'd say, "Do you want me to give you something to cry about?"
Oh man, that's
fucking
a classic.
Yeah, she got it.
Right in the gut.
Mm-hmm. Now we jump back to good old Chief here. I guess he's decided that he's done fucking driving around. So the Chief calls and gathers every cop in this little town, including the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed the Ghostbusters car that pulls up with the fucking cop sirens. Did you notice that?
Oh, dude.
Dude is pretty ridiculous. Yes. Now, he also gathers up all the townsfolk, and they look like they're there to, save these kids out from the mine. We then jump back down to the mine, and creeping through the mine, Sarah finds TJ, and was once again startled because he looks like Harry.
It's dark.
Yeah. Now, they find their way to a rail car, and the killer...
This was their plan, by the way. This wasn't... They stumbled upon it. Their plan was, we get the rail car, we got the son of a bitch. That was their plan.
That was their plan.
Because we can hop on a rail car and...
Yeah, and it made me wonder, you could walk faster than this thing. What is your plan?
What is this going to do?
You can get in an epic fight on it like Indiana Jones.
You'd have to be pretty wimpy of a slasher to just, let someone go off on a...
Yeah.
Oh, they're out of here.
See ya.
Fuck it.
Some Scooby-Doo shit. Just...
Old man Withers.
Yeah. So TJ and Sarah hop into the rail car, and the killer follows. Now he jumps on to the rail car as well, and he's walking from cart to cart, getting closer and closer to them. Now the killer starts fighting TJ, and TJ has a shovel.
He kills with that shovel. He's like a Three Musketeer with that thing.
Dude, he fucking does not. Yeah, he does not fucking settle. He just starts whooping this killer's ass. Now,
you think a pickaxe would have the advantage because it's way more aerodynamic.
Yeah, you think it'd pierce through the shovel too, or
you can swing those much faster than you can. They're heavy.
Just played him in defense with the shovels.
Yeah.
When it came down.
Defense wins games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boom.
Offense may sell tickets, Chris, but defense does win games.
It does.
Now, TJ, Sarah, and the killer decide to jump off the rail car and continue the brawl elsewhere. Now we jump to a scene where the chief and the townspeople find the empty rail car that has moved its way upward.
With blood on the side.
Yes, which the chief sees. And that means that they're getting closer and closer to the survivors.
The best offense is a good defense. But by the same token, couldn't you say the best defense is a good offense? That's just a fucking circle.
Yin and yang.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was thinking. So they fight on this fucking rail car. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. They decide to jump off, and TJ, Sarah, and the killer enter an abandoned part of the shaft. which has a board covering the door that says "Danger, do not enter."
And then make small work of that with your weapon.
Mm-hmm. He breaks it with his pickaxe, the killer. Now, the brawl continues to go into this mine shaft, and let me add that the killer is just swinging.
Can I take
fucking
this, if I may?
Erratically, yes.
Harry Warden tears this place down Super Shredder style. Remember when Super Shredder, he becomes strong and he just punches every pole. You can't punch every pole. It's going to fucking collapse on you.
It is.
And that's what happens to HW.
You can't let your weakness be your fucking idiotic mindset. Obviously, you're going to knock these barriers down.
You got to keep a clear head.
Yeah.
You do.
Now, this is where the killer or Harry is exposed. Mm-hmm. Plot twist. It's not Harry, Steve. Oh.
It's W. Axel Rose. Or as we know him in this movie, Axel Palmer.
I'm glad you have his last name, because I did not.
It's stored up here. See that? Look at my notes to say, but it's stored in my brain.
Yeah.
Axel Palmer.
Yeah, so Sarah pulls the mask off right before he's about to swing one last axe strike to TJ. And you see Axel's sad face. Now, this is a great part because the flashback is just ridiculous. It shows the whole backstory, which we may add is actually a deleted scene.
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous.
But it shows that Axel's dad was one of the supervisors murdered 20 years earlier.
Axel's hiding under the bed.
Yeah, and as a child, Axel sees tastes his father's blood.
Oh, dude, yeah. So why don't you describe the scene, Chris?
All right, so he's hiding under the bed, as was previously mentioned. Mm-hmm. And just laying there as kids do, under the bed, just being curious and stuff.
Just like Sawyer on Lost.
Yeah, I haven't seen Lost.
Yeah, okay, just continue.
So he proceeds to see his papa. Was it his dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his dad.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So he's messed up.
Yeah, well, you would be messed up if you saw your papa get pickaxed.
Papa.
And then the blood goes skeet, 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 splat on fucking
Money
Axel's
shot.
face.
Money shot.
And he just huddles under the bed all scared.
And
it would make anyone a killer.
And before it cuts back to real time, the little child puts his thumb in his mouth.
Oh, yeah, that's the best. Somebody else's blood on your dad's blood in your hand.
Taste that blood.
Stick that in your mouth. All the blood.
But it then cuts back to
that's such an incredibly necessary scene,
dude. It's fucking hilarious because the whole time during this flashback, it's playing like this like weird music, and there's no sound effects of the killing or anything. The only other sound effect is the blood splattering on the kid's face.
Oh, dude, yeah. And did you notice the?
Yes, sir.
Chris.
God damn it.
Probably not. No, but I do it anyway because it's sterile and I like
See,
the taste.
that's what happens when you say the N-word.
Yeah, so he got the blood on his face. He's under there. It's great, though, because at this point you're thinking, why is he the psycho? You think it's TJ the whole time.
Yeah. But, and I would say that if you watch the regular version, this
don't know what the fuck is going on.
Terrible.
If you watch the regular version, not only do you not see anything, but you don't know what the fuck is going on.
There'd be some serious plot gaps.
Yeah. Make it big this. Axel, it's you. And then he's like, oh, and then he just falls down, like, instead of cutting to the scene.
Yeah. So after she pulls his mask off and after that flashback, he goes to throw one last swing at TJ or the girl, I can't remember, but the mine just collapses.
Oh, yeah.
And all the beams and all the rocks fall onto Axel.
Much like Shredder.
Yes. Exactly like Shredder.
Exactly.
Minus the water.
Yeah. Now the townspeople and chief finally reach this abandoned part of the mine and decide that, you know what, we're going to dig up Axel. And so they start digging up and find out that he's alive.
Well, I think the thing is that they have to take these people to the hospital first, then they can put them in the jail.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Show mercy.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's alive, and then what's her name?
Then confuse Sarah.
Then Sarah's like, oh, and
she's like concerned and like has feelings.
It's
like,
her boyfriend. It's her boyfriend still.
Yeah, but he's like killing people.
Well, if Chris was killing a bunch of people, he's my friend, and he was still alive, I'd go back to see him.
But she definitely wants to sit on TJ's face, not Axel's.
Well, yeah.
Like,
I don't want to sit on Chris's face, but I'd go see him if he was dying.
Well, that's nice of you. I wouldn't ask you to sit on my face.
Yeah. That's a great question. If Chris is on his deathbed,
never ever say never
sit
ever
on
pal.
my face. Would you, Steve?
We'll have to see.
Question another day. Another story, another day.
Deathbed time question.
Now, they start digging up good old Axel here, and stupid broad Sarah decides she wants to go pay her respects, because she still has feelings for him.
Touch his hand.
Now, she sees that his hand's moving, and she goes to grab his hand.
His hand is protruding from the rubble.
Yes. And he grabs her and, like, starts pulling her towards us, and she's freaking out.
He holds on tight.
And we find out that from another deleted scene here in the special edition, he's cutting his fucking arm off.
And from magic of rigor mortis, this hand will hold on to her arm.
It will, indeed. Now, he cuts his arm off and gives his Valentine his left arm.
And then he laughs about it and says she's his Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
Sarah be my Bloody Valentine.
Right.
And he runs off and escapes, and the end.
Boom.
Cut scene.
Sucker.
Now, we mentioned, Steve, that sets up a great fucking position for a sequel.
Right. And what I read in Rue Morgue, according to, I believe it was the director several years ago,
Yeah.
was he had pitched the idea recently, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at your Snapchat with you. He had pitched recently the idea. He wanted to make a sequel, and he was like, "Let's make a sequel where a mysterious one-armed man comes back into town." And do you know what they did instead?
What?
Those fucking bastards were like, "Sounds not great. Let's just remake the movie," and then they did.
Really? So he's going to make a
what
sequel in
happened.
2009. All that time.
He had the sequel already. He had the idea. One-armed guy.
Bad move.
One-armed guy comes back to Valentine Bluff. It's got to be fucking
Sure.
Axel Palmer.
Yeah.
And instead they're like, let's remake that.
So you're a fan. I know you're a fan of the remake.
I like the remake too, but
it would have been much better.
I would have loved to see what
yeah.
happened with the sequel. We should get a Kickstarter going for this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The first one
Donate.
was $2 million. Fucking, we could.
With the 80s
you
and-
could raise $2 million these days.
I'd say it'd be $4 million now.
Well, we could give him $2 million.
So, the remake was in 2009.
Yeah.
This was in 1981. So, you say that they were
Quite a
actually
long
going to
time
do
sit
that.
on it.
Yeah. Now, the director...
28 years.
That's a hard
The director George did he actually direct the remake, or was he just
I don't know.
did he just have a producer credit,
I'm
or
not
what?
that well versed in the whole thing? I just know that it's definitely a serviceable remake.
Because I know that he did not direct the remake because he moved on to like television. He really didn't direct anything really.
It's entertaining. Got the guy from what's that movie where him and his brother drive around looking for ghost things?
I don't know.
Supernatural. One of the kids from Supernatural. The other guy's in Friday the 13th remake.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the end. Sets up a great opportunity for a sequel.
Yeah.
Overall, great film.
Right. And we'll get to that. But
Now, Steve.
I think you will like this movie, Trevor, and Chris, and potential audience at home may or may not be there. You like this movie if you like pickaxes penetrating heart tattoos. If you think that kids should decorate dance rooms and not each other. Naked shower wrestling and general ass grabbing. Moosehead beers. 20-something-year-olds getting upset about dance cancellation. Donating your left arm to prove you're insane. And old men thoroughly loving their own murderous gags. If you like any of those, watch this movie.
Great, yeah. There's a lot to see here. It is a good one. I say we jump to the rating here, and I'll leave it to our guest Chris
Mr.
first.
Johnson, what do you think? On a scale of 1 to 5 dumpsters, 1 being the best because you have to have 1 dumpster,
Right.
5 being the worst, all out dumpster fire. What would you rate this? Also, I want to hear what you think about the score and the killer.
And why your rating. Well, and no, whoa. Before we jump into that, how does the rating work, Steve?
Were you were you not listening? Just barely.
I was not.
I literally just wrapped it up.
Do you have half dumpsters?
Yeah,
You got half
can you do
dumpsters,
half?
you got quarters. We can split this into any decimal you
Okay,
want, but you need
okay.
1 dumpster. That's the best. 5's an all dumpster fire. If you weren't listening at home like Trevor wasn't.
Yeah.
Chris, so I want you to tell me what your rating is. I want an explanation. I want to know what you thought about the score.
And we want it
last,
now.
I want to know what you thought about the slasher.
All right, so I'd give it 1.25 dumpsters.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Great movie. So though the film overall is very artistic, it makes it so you really appreciate the art of killing from a slasher perspective.
Yeah.
it would be scary as hell to be killed by a miner because that shit's real, and that's the kind of shit that would scare me more than anything.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a good legend? So it is a classic. It meets all the criteria of a good slasher thriller. So I really liked it. The music was fantastic. I love the Western rock in it, and just the ominous tones. Piano was played well for the scary scenes. As for the slasher, just totally badass. I did not predict who it was, so if we spoiled it, that's what we're here to do. But I didn't know it was going to be Axel, so for that, I really liked it. And kicked ass with the pickaxe, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He did. He didn't fuck around. All right, now I guess I'll go. Leave Steve very last.
Yes.
I'll give this a 1.5. It is a cult classic, and it earns its right to be a cult classic. It has a great story, a lot of red herrings in it. So, I was watching it as the first time. You're definitely not going to be able to pick out who the killer is. The kills, I haven't watched the original version. So, if you watch the extended version, the kills are very elaborate, super in detail. So, they're gory, they're fun. You'll have a good time with that. One detractor, I don't think you see tits in this. So any kids that like watching these movies to get their fill,
We'll call it jollies.
yeah, jollies. You may not get that, but I think the story, the kills will make up for that. The score is not bad. It's pretty decent. I like it. The acting is above subpar. Great acting in it, and it's got a realistic feel. It's not ridiculous. Just a miner revenging, his fellow's death. So yeah, it's a great one. I'd recommend it as a horror fan as well as somebody just breezing through the genre.
Yeah,
What do you think about HW?
He's a badass. I like the fact that the killer has a disguise. I like the whole breathing aspect. I really like that, and like the point of view. When they do point of view slashers, like you'll see it in Halloween, you can hear him breathing in his mask. You hear it in this, and it's unique. The goggles and everything. I think that's pretty cool. And he doesn't fuck around. He just wreaks havoc, dude. He kills people hard. But yeah, classy.
Yes.
And Steve, what do you think?
I would give it a 1 dumpster.
Boom.
I love this movie. It's all about good old-fashioned showmanship. And this figure known as Harry Warden, which isn't even Harry Warden most of the time, except for the very beginning, is great. You gotta love what you do. And he does. He relishes the kills, drags people around with the pickaxe, gets down and dirty with the axe. It's a great movie. Mm-hmm. He doesn't pull any punches. I don't know what. There's nothing bad I could say about this movie. It's great. There is an annoying guy. He does end up dying, which is the case in most 1980s movies.
Yeah,
they have to die.
This was filmed in Nova Scotia, which sounds cool to me.
Yeah.
I've heard about it on Ancient Aliens. I love this movie so much that when I made our show's theme song, I included the girl screaming before she became the showerhead in the spot in between Jesus Is My Friend and between our actual song. Yes, and then the hard breathing from Harry Warden during some parts. I have a tattoo of the My Bloody Valentine. I love this movie. It's great. I thought the score was okay. It wasn't quite as good as like Nightmare on Elm Street one. I think that's one of the better scores.
Yeah.
That one and probably the original Halloween have some of the better scores.
John Carpenter's a badass.
But as far as it goes, the idea of Freddy Krueger is a good idea. It wasn't executed probably the way I would have liked it, but Harry Warden character, even though it's not Harry Warden most of the time, and the legend is way better. Like, it's not a better idea, but it's executed way better.
Yeah, somebody's acting on an urban legend. And we forgot to mention that the fact that the cop finds out that the killer was not Harry Warden because the nut house clerk calls back and says, "Oh, he died 5 years ago or whatever."
Yeah, so it's like, who the fuck is this? And then there's so many red herrings going on, which is great because in movies that I really like, like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, there's no mystery.
And like you mentioned too, like with like Scream.
But in Scream,
one of the red herrings dies, so you like completely exclude him from like being a possible killer.
Right. That's what the other side was getting to this. Scream is my favorite movie, and it's great because it tricks you and you don't realize there's two people they're killing.
Sure.
I mean, we're never going to get into this on this podcast because the budget was way too big. But I might as well just say my Scream piece, I guess. But that movie's great because, you know, it tricks you into thinking, and just like this movie, the killer, quote unquote, dies, and then he's the killer. He fake dies. So,
yeah,
it's a great movie.
It's mind fuck.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's a good time, and the only thing that could possibly ruin this movie for anyone is the fucking MPAA, because this movie was great, and they hacked it up. And so the only reason that it made at the box office $5 million and the budget was, what did I say, $1.2 or $1.3 million, is the fact that they fucking cut all this shit, and you know that they use most of their budget for this stuff, like between the cool sounds they make when the crunching, when people get hit with something,
and the special effects,
and the effects where people get killed. So
and they definitely trimmed it down for the rating, not for time, because even with the special the additional scenes that were ultimately supposed to be in it, it was still only a minute 30 minutes long, or an hour and 30 minutes long.
You're cruising around at 99 minutes opposed to 90 minutes.
Yeah, so I mean,
and that's including the credits.
Yeah, so they were really trying to get a huge box office like release, and from what we see from the statistics, they really didn't make what the money they were trying to make, so they should have definitely included those.
Yeah, without those extra 9 minutes, I'd probably give it like a 2.5.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'd give it like 3.5. Well, it's not the same movie.
I know they've come out with a few releases of this. Can you explain what edition you have, so whoever's listening to this, they can like buy that version and watch it?
Yeah, the edition that I have is, to my knowledge, the most recent edition. You don't have to get the Blu-ray, but I don't. It's not the, according to the director, it's not the exact director's cut, because his cut would have been more scenes.
Yeah,
but this was all he could salvage. So it's the 99-minute. I think it's listed as the director's cut. But if you were looking for it on Amazon or anywhere, it's labeled as 99 minutes, and the cover just has like Harry Warden holding a heart-shaped box. Okay. But it's definitely worth your while. If you're going to buy it, do not buy the other ones. Because on this one, you can choose to not watch with the scenes or watch it with the scenes.
Which I'll probably do now.
Which is cool.
Yeah, I'll do that now to see like what people were missing for so long. So.
If only we would have saw that first, so it could have been like a little...
Like an extra.
Yeah, or mind blown.
Yeah, but
we probably wouldn't have, if we'd seen the other one first, we probably wouldn't have cared to see it. That was the thing. They really fucked this movie up.
Yeah, that tends to happen here on this show, because we review those movies that you don't have time for. So watching them a second or even third time is fucking a tedious task.
Out of the question.
Yeah, but hey, that's the review. Great movie. I recommend watching. It's a cult classic, especially with it being February. Check it out. Watch it before you take or after you take your fine lady out on a date for some cuddle time.
Being scared is a aphrodisiac.
Yes. But yeah, that's it. Chris, just want to say thanks for coming on the show. You're a badass.
You got a great shirt.
Yes, gentlemen.
Fancy, shiny, foxy Shazam shirt.
And
smoking a cig.
Yes. And you can always scream at us on Twitter, at Trevor Turpin, at Steve Norman, at B Movie Trash Talk. And Chris, do you have a Twitter?
I do not have a Twitter.
Of course he does not. Our guests never have social media.
Yeah, people that don't.
But no social media at all, right?
It's Instagram.
Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Spinky88.
Yeah.
You can look up in the sky and see the beauty of the sunset and know that is Chris's only official social media.
It's the Instagram.
Yeah, but that's it. Enjoy. We will be reviewing another gem here shortly, and we'll let you know what it is. But other than that, we're closing out.
All right. Thanks again, guys.
Bye.
Bye.